Hi, I'm Jason from Tirio, and for the next few minutes we're going to talk through what kit we carry for our 2, 3, maybe 4-day expedition. Here we go. We've got everything laid out on the ground. It's good to kind of visualize everything. So first of all, let's look at what we're going to wear while we're in the raft. I've got a couple of options here to look at. First of all, I've got the sort of gold standard option, which is a dry suit. Here's a dry suit. So what do we need to know about the dry suit? Well, we've got the entry zip here, and this is a single entry zip. This has got a neoprene collar, really flexible neoprene collar. It's a lot more comfortable for open water style trips. Not really suitable for white water, really hard white water, because you will get a little bit of seepage through this, but on open water, absolutely fine and a lot more comfortable. It's got latex seals on the cuffs. That's really important for keeping hands dry. And finally, fabric socks. It's a really lightweight suit. These come in on a size large at 910 grams, so under a kilo. Really good, reliable, lightweight dry suit. If I'm wearing a dry suit, one thing that's really important is to protect the socks. If there's somewhere that it's going to leak over time, it's going to be there. So if I'm wearing a dry suit, I'm always going to wear a neoprene sock over the top of the socks of the dry suit. These are really kind of thin, 0.5 mil neoprene socks, really stretchy, and they're there just to give a little bit of warmth and to add some protection to the dry suit socks. We don't get grit and things like that damaging them. Obviously, then I've got my water shoes. These are a really lightweight shoe, again really suitable for open water touring style paddling. They've got protected sole, but they're soft. This is not the sort of thing I'd really want to wear on white water. I'd want a bit more protection to the soles of my feet for sure, but for wearing in a raft and hopping in and out, no problem at all. So I've got my footwear there. The other option we could go for, and it's more common, you know, not everyone wants to pay and invest in a dry suit straight away, is to paddle in our waterproofs. And I would say that in all but the hottest conditions in the UK, I'll be wearing waterproofs at the very least to paddling. So in colder weather, or when the water's cold, dry suit. In slightly warmer weather, or in the summer when the water's warmer, I might go for waterproofs. It's really important. Don't think about standing on the side and thinking, oh, it's nice and warm, it's going to be great, because 3 or 4 hours in your raft, getting drips on you, the wind, you know, get cold, it's really worth protecting yourself. So waterproof's are key. So I've got waterproof trousers and jacket. One thing that's worth bearing in mind about a waterproof jacket, if I just pop it on quickly, when you're paddling, even though you turn the cuffs up nice and tight, water runs down the cuffs. So we use these. These are really thin neoprene wrist cover. They go over the top like this. And so these wrist skins stop any water coming in. And even if you get your hands in the water or even take a bit of a swim, it's going to give you more protection just to stop everything just running in and soaking. So they're a nice little addition. And they come in a range of sizes for different wrist sizes. And if you're small, you'll even get these big ones over your ankles, so you can put them over the bottom of your trousers as well, which is good for wading. So waterproofs. And we've got the addition of the seals too. So let's pop that jacket off. Look at some of the other equipment that I'm going to be wearing while I'm on my raft. I quite often carry a set of pogies. Pogies are gloves that fit over your paddle. So your hands go inside like this, and the paddle shaft, these wrap around the paddle shaft. And the paddle shaft fits through here, so you can hold your paddle and have nice warm hands. So these are great, they're really light, and what's important is they've got this nice wide opening here that's got a stiffener on it, so you can just stick your hands in whenever you need to. So those are my pogies, they're going to be with me as well. Let's move on to my buoyancy aid now. So this is an open water touring style buoyancy aid, and this whole rig that I'm talking about here is for that. It's not really a white water rig. So I've got this Coconut buoyancy aid. They are quite bulky, but they got high flotation. So this has got 70 newtons flotation, and it's got a high back. And that's quite useful because lots of Packraft seats are inflatable. They come high up your back, and if they're on your buoyancy aid as well, they're slightly less comfortable. So it's high backed. It's great because it's got lots of storage in the pockets. So it's got these hand warmer pockets here, so they're worth noting. So you've got inside here, nice and soft, keep your hands warm while you're paddling. Let's have a look what I'm carrying in my buoyancy aid. So straight away, I've got an inReach. This is part of my incident kit. What this allows me to do is contact the emergency services, or because it links to my mobile phone, I can text through this device via satellite to maybe Marianne or somebody else to let them know where I am. So that's my inReach. I've got a knife. I've got a strobe. So again, this is for attracting attention if I'm in difficulty at all, and it's connected to my buoyancy aid. I want it to stay with me. That's part of my own personal protective kit. I've got a small head torch in a waterproof box. That's in my buoyancy aid. If I do ever get separated from a raft for any reason, I need to be able to kind of manage myself at night, things like that. So that's in there. It's also good for signalling as well. I've got this little device, this tube. We generally carry either amphibio or Cocopelli rafts. So this tube is used for inflating the raft on the water. So if someone's boat's not tempered properly and you just want to get a little bit more air in it without having to kind of land, then you can use this. This side fits a Cocopelli, this side fits an amphibio. You stick it in the raft, bend over and just blow and you can top the raft up. So that's what that's for. Okay, let's pop those back in there. And let's look at the other pocket. So in this side, I've got a couple of light sticks. These are for use for paddling in low light, or if we get problems and we end up going into dark. I have yellow for my body, red for my raft. These are quite a neat idea. These are spare paddles. So these webbed swimming gloves, if I end up getting separated from my paddle for any reason, I've got a way of actually propelling myself in the raft. So these weigh next to nothing, you know, they're less than 100 grams for the pair, and it just gives you the chance to sort of paddle the raft. So it's a spare paddle. This is my fire kit. I carry this with my buoyancy aid because if I do get separated from my raft and therefore my equipment, I need to be able to stay warm, cook, purify water, and this is the way I'm going to do it. I've got flint and steel. And inside the tin, let's have a little look. So these really lightweight, fully waterproof tins. In here I've got, these are makeup wipes and they've been soaked in Vaseline. So one spark will set these on fire, that's great. I've then got lots of little bits of old bike in a tube to kind of hold the fire, keep it going for a while. And finally an S-bit block in there. So that all goes in my tin. Gets wrapped up with more rubber, again that's combustible, and that's kept in there as well. What else have I got? Yeah, it's coming to that time of year where the midges are out, so I always carry a midge net in my buoyancy aid. It's personal preference, but there's nothing more frustrating than finding yourself landing and needing to sort your kit out and you're getting bitten to heck, and you need to find this that's buried in your bag, so it stays in my buoyancy aid. And finally, a whistle. Again, for attracting attention. That's an essential bit of kit for any time you're paddling. So there's my sort of touring buoyancy aid pack up. So something else I've always got on me if I'm paddling with other people is a Towline. This is a Towline we've made. It's just a really lightweight Towline. You've got floating rope, that's really important, and a quick release belt. So anytime you're fastening yourself to something else, a boat, a person, anything at all, when you're paddling, it needs to be fastened on a quick release system. So here we go, that's gone. So I can ditch that if I'm in trouble. So I've got a Towline. Okay, so that's the kit I'm going to have on my body. Let's look at the kit I'm going to have accessible on my raft. So to carry it, I've got my amphibio deck bag. What I like about this, in particular with this Rebel 2K raft, is I can put it on the front, on the top, on the deck, or I can put it inside under my legs just to support my hamstrings a little bit. So in there I'm going to have my first aid kit, and we're going to do a separate little video about what we carry in our first aid kits. That's quite a comprehensive kit there. That's in a dry bag. I've got my raft repair kit. Again, this is a little bit battered now, but these tins, it's about 3 years old now, this tin. And inside I've got a whole range of different items to repair stuff. Again, watch out for a separate video on what we keep in our repair kit. I've got a sail. So this is an umbrella, yeah, and it's also a sail. Let's have a little look. So I can pop it out, open it up, and there's my sail. And the great thing about it is, while I'm walking, I can stay dry, or if it's raining, I can actually sail with it behind me like this, and that'll still push me along, and it gives me loads of shelter from wind and rain. So that's a really handy little trick. The other good thing about these is, if it gets too windy, they will invert, and so they'll spill wind, so it acts as if like a safety brake. So really useful item. There's my sail. That goes in my deck bag as well. Okay. There's a couple of extra items in here. These are optional. If I'm paddling on coastal waters, I'm going to have a set of flares. So these flares here, we've got a section of mini flares, and we've got the firing pin. The mini flare fits on top, and bang, you fire it. So these are mini flares, day or night use. I've also got a smoke. This is for daytime use, signal smoke, and a red flare for nighttime use. So again, these are critical if we're paddling on coastal waters. Let's pop those there. And all that stuff is in my deck bag, along with maybe my snack kit and a water bottle. Okay, so let's have a look at the kit now that we're going to carry while we're out there and, you know, to sort of live. We'll start off with camping kit. First of all, I've got a sleeping bag. These Exped dry bags are really good, great quality, and they keep their seal. I like a windowed bag as well. It lets me see what's in there, although they are slightly heavier. And in here I've got my sleeping bag. I've got a Sea to Summit SP3, really lightweight bag, really warm. I just love it. Next I got my mat. This is a Exped Sin mat. It's the winter version, so it's insulated, and this will take you down to around about -18, the manufacturers say. Well, we've not got that bad yet in the UK, but I do opt for a higher quality mat rather than the ultralight air ones. Why? I just really like a good night's sleep. A bad night's sleep means you're more fatigued, you don't perform as well, and it really affects your thinking and decision making. So good night's sleep all the way for me. Got my tent. This is a 2-person tent. It uses the paddles as poles. Inside this, there's no bug net right now. It does come with a bug net, which doubles the kind of size of the pack. But for a 2-person tent, that's nothing at all. It's great. Pegs. And this is my ground sheet. So this is Mylar. It's fully reflective on one side, absolutely waterproof, really tough. The only thing you need to remember if you're using Mylar is if you're going to peg it, if you put holes in it, they tear. So just use a little bit of gaffer tape over the top and just put your pegs through there. So this is just cut to my body size. And super light, absolutely totally waterproof and reflective, so extra warmth. Okay, so that's my key camping kit. And I've got my food bag. There's 3 days food in here for me anyway. I work on around about 4,000 calories a day, and that's in there. We like to dehydrate our food and store it, and then kind of constantly add it up with things that we can buy readily in supermarkets and things like that. So there's my food bag, and this is my cooking bag. Let's have a little look in here, see what we've got. So first of all, I've got my homemade pouch. Watch out, we're going to do a little video on how to make these in the coming weeks. Basically, it's Mylar, bubble wrap and gaffer tape. And this one's about 3 years old now. You pop your dehydrated pouch in here, add the hot water, close the top, stick it inside your coat, and you get warm. And 10 minutes later, you've got a cooked meal. Nice and simple to make. We'll do a video on how to do those in the coming weeks. Next, of course, I've got my coffee filter. That goes without saying. These are sort of weigh nothing, and it's just a sock there. Just chuck your coffee granules in there, and it stands on top of your cup like that, using these little legs, and bang, you've got your espresso in the morning. I've got my clean water bag. And I've got my dirty water bag and my inline filter. This is a Sawyer filter, so you fill this up with the water, you know, straight from the stream. Pop that on there, give it a squeeze into that bag, 2 of those, and that's full. So there's my water purifier system. Then I've got my cooking kit. So this is my solo pot. If I'm paddling with Marianne or in a group, I carry a bigger pot. Here we go. So let's look at this bit here. I've got a sipper lid, gas bottle. This is a little pan grab, so you can grab the hot pan. I've got my spoon, my spork, or whatever you want to call it. Foon, I think these are called. And I've got a scraper, and this scraper's great just for getting that last bit of couscous or whatever you want out the bottom, and for washing up as well. The pot itself, obviously that goes on the stove, and then you've got this insulating sleeve that goes around it just to keep things nice and warm. Stop you burning your hands when you're holding it. In my stove bag, I've got this GSI high-powered stove. This will boil this pot full of water in about 2.5–3 minutes, so really quick. And just because I'm lazy, I carry a little pizza clicker. So there's my cooking kit. In addition to that, I've got this windshield. This is just a small sheet of titanium that acts as a windshield and wraps around my stove. Okay, so there's another item that I always carry on a expedition or when I'm guiding, and that's this hypothermia kit. So what I've got in here are 2 big foil blankets. They're really light, totally waterproof and heat reflective, and a hydrophobic down sheet. So that's the down that kind of repels water, so it keeps insulated even though it's damp. The great thing about this is I can top up my sleeping system with it. Okay, so I can add to that. So if it does get colder, I've got like an extra layer of insulation I can just throw over the top. But it's really good for dealing with someone who's had a long swim or has got really cold. So let's just hop over the other side and look at the last kit. Okay, I've got map and compass. This is going to be in the cockpit of the raft with me. Obviously, used for navigating. I'll always write my kind of tidal information and the contact numbers on the map as well. Just a normal kind of silver compass, but I use these. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this before. This is just a way of counting and remembering. So if I'm counting kilometers that I've paddled, I can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'll quite often forget. And that might be, you know, multiples of strokes if I'm measuring distance while paddling, something like that. So there's my map and compass. Let's look at the electronics kit I carry. My phone. Obviously my phone it's got some mapping apps on it, although I don't rely on that solely. It's a way of contacting the emergency services or just kind of contacting the outside world. But if I'm going to rely on it, it needs to stay charged. And so in that side here, I've got a really high quality waterproof bag. And in here I've got my anchor kit. This will do 2 full charges of the phone, or a charge of the phone and a charge of the inReach. I've also got in here spare batteries, so these are the batteries that fit my buoyancy aid torch. These are batteries for other head torches. I've got a spare head torch here. They're using the tent, and I've also got this solar panel. So in the day, this goes on top of my rucksack or on the front of my raft. In this waterproof pouch here, I've got a little bungee cord that I use for securing it on there. And what I do is I connect this to the solar panel. This charges through the day, and at night it charges my electronics. So that's my electronics kit. Okay, clothing. Really high quality insulated jacket, packed down in a good dry bag. So this is the thing that as soon as I get in the tent is going on, keeping me nice and toasty warm. And in the evening while I'm sitting around, I'm a clothes bag. So in here I've got 3 days worth of clothes. And I do work on a system where I try and stay as dry as possible. So, you know, I really take my time in don't travel too fast, don't paddle too hard. You don't want to be sweating. And we've also going to have either Drysuit and waterproofs as well to complement this. So this is my clothes bag. Last of all, sort of sanitary kind of things, you know, for washing and keeping clean. I got my cat hole trowel. This is a really tough trowel with these serrated edges, really good for kind of digging through roots, cutting through things so you can dig your cat holes. I've got my toilet bag, sorry. So in here, I've got toilet roll, I've got hand sanitizer, biodegradable bags, and I use this. This is used for filtering food waste. So I don't leave food waste out in the wild. So if I don't eat something, when I wash up, the grey water gets put through this. It'll catch all the food waste, and then I can put it, empty the food waste into a biodegradable bag and pack it out. And this just stays in there and can be reused. The other thing I've got in there is hand sanitizer, obviously. This is my wash kit. So I've got a towel. I carry quite a big towel with me, although it's a really light one. This is a full sort of beach size towel. Why? Well, it's actually really useful if someone takes a swim to dry them off. So I carry a bigger towel for that. So I've got like an emergency use as well. Again, these super lightweight and waterproof tins. I got soap, foot powder. I really like the dry feet of an evening. And in here, toothpaste tablets. So these all contain fluoride. They fit in a little tin. A couple of those, and it's just as good as toothpaste. Earplugs. Deodorant, that's cut down, but in there you got deodorant. I use an unscented deodorant. Just a lot better for wildlife, really. They've got a good sense of smell, so they'll smell you before they see you. And then I've got my toothbrush. Okay, so there you go. There's my wash kit. Obviously got my paddle, my rucksack. So this is a 48 litre bag. There's just loads of room for all this gear in here, and my boat will go inside this bag. This weighs a kilo, or actually with this lid on, just under a kilo. It's a fully framed back, so there's a frame to it. Good strong waistband, pockets on either side. It's got hangers for sunglasses on the front and clips, huge side pockets, and a nice big mesh pocket on the back for wet gear. So absolutely brilliant bag. And last of all is my huge dry bag for putting my bag in while I'm paddling.